Alexis Nunes still here alongside Shaka Hislop on duty. Shaka, we just took in the match. Liverpool, the champions of the Premier League this season, up against Aston Villa. Complete opposite sides of the tables for these two. And of course, a lot of people probably would have had an eye on Liverpool to, quote unquote, and I say this loosely, bounce back after being embarrassed by Manchester City. We know that Liverpool at this point really have nothing else to prove. But what did you think of the game and their performance specifically, Shaka?
Well, when does it be expected? And I do sympathise. Liverpool, after winning their first title in 30 years, come up against Manchester City. That's the last game I think they wanted or needed right after clinching the title. Listen, they weren't hiding to nothing at that point. They'd already lost their unbeaten streak a whole lot earlier this season. They're already going to romp away with the title. Every record still to be broken. But you come up against the second best team in the league, the defending champions, the day or the game after you clinch the title. I thought that was only going to go one way. And now this game against Villa, well, you wondered if there'd be a little bit of a backlash or if it was kind of Liverpool motoring on as they always had done. It turned out to be the latter, a 2-0 win that was more comfortable maybe than the scoreline suggested. But at the same time, it wasn't the 5 or 6 that some were expecting in the shape of a backlash against Liverpool, against Aston Villa, excuse me.
And then I suppose with that said, we know that clubs fighting for survival, like Aston Villa in this situation, sometimes, are a force to be reckoned with. So even though this is Liverpool and they are the all-dominating Liverpool that we have seen, at least over the last 2 seasons, but now the focus is on Aston Villa. I suppose that is the talking point. They're definitely still fighting for survival, and they may have benefited from other teams, in the relegation zone that did drop points as well, like Bournemouth to Manchester United, and we saw Watford last night to Chelsea. However, they're still not doing themselves favours. 1 point behind Watford. Is it all doom and gloom looking for Aston Villa, or can you see a small light at the end of the tunnel given the fixtures that both teams have coming up?
Yeah, I'm not seeing an awful lot of light for Villa, in all honesty. As you look at what schedules they have remaining, probably their best hope is against West Ham, who themselves picked up a point against Newcastle and put just a little bit more distance between themselves and the bottom 3. That is coming down last game of the season, I believe it is. If West Ham are just totally safe, maybe that plays into Aston Villa's hands a whole lot better in terms of a finish. But between now and then, there's not an awful lot of hope. When you find yourself in that position, inevitably you start looking around at who's around you, what games they have coming up, how they are playing. And if I'm Villa, I'm taking some heart from the fact that Bournemouth, there's nothing about them that looks like they're going to steer themselves free of the bottom 3. And you look at Watford, who continue to plummet despite how poor everybody else is around them. So maybe as you look at the company you're keeping, you think you may be able to get yourselves free. And now you still face the fact that you have to do yourself some favour. Where that favour is going to come from, I'm not quite sure. But you look at everybody else and you think the same thing as well.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.